think that is us live. Welcome everyone. It has been a while since I've been around. Today is a bit of an odd one. Fraser is not going to be around until much later in the afternoon, so I've decided to pick up and play a little game called Shapez 2. This is a game about making things, and very quick overview is we have tasks to complete where we will try and build certain shapes to progress through, and we also have challenge modes that will give us these little extra research points, and those will be used to upgrade all of our pieces that we use for the factory. Hopefully that is pretty much as everyone would expect from a factory game. We are playing on hexagon difficulty at the moment, which is a slight variation from the regular square theme, where you would normally have 4 pieces. In this one we have 6, and I've not modified any of the kind of preset data there, so this is just standard 6-channel gaming. So, with that being said, how is everyone doing? We are going to get right into it, I think, with... I think actually I'm going to start with these challenges first, because they look fairly simple at the start of the game. And doing all of these will get us about 15 level up points, which is going to be pretty big for our early game objectives. So, easiest one, over here, we have, you can sort of see under here, we have these like resource nodes that contain a shape. And then this is a extractor. And then these extensions effectively unlock more of these little bars on the side. I'm going to use a little mini extractor here and set them up on all of these. And that will start producing the shapes. I'm then going to use a belt. And you see here on the extractor, this little thing over here, it says buildings per full belt is 4. What that means is, when I connect 4 of these together, they will produce one combined stream of items. So what I'm going to do is link all of these up, and they will then get piped out over here. And you can see this is the pin task we need there. I can then drag all of these towards our center, which is our vortex network, and that'll complete it. Hey Foxy, welcome to the chat, bud. So yeah, that is the start of the first task, but as you can see, that is not the end of this. We are going to want, at some point, to start cutting these into the little blue halves. So, I'm going to take my cutter tool, and you can see here, this has an input and an output. And if I hover it next to the track, you'll see what it's going to do. It's going to cut the shape right down the middle into the blue half and into the grey half. And again, this is 4 items per belt. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a place over here, which is going to have 4 inputs, and then this belt is going to feed across into it eventually. And it is the right halves that we want to keep, so I'm going to put bins on the left halves, and then these outputs, whoops, will then reconnect and make the pieces that we want. And actually, I'm going to have this go that way. There we go. That is the first of the upgrades done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and just duplicate it 4 times here. And then I can connect all of these bits up. And then these can connect into here instead. And this is going to be the tier 2 of the upgrade. And we should see in here, a full belt will start feeding in. They'll get cut into halves. The grey bits will get dropped out. And then the blue bits will recombine to make, hopefully, another full belt. And that'll happen 4 times, and it should generate us these blue halves. We are making it. That is the first of the research points, which I don't think it gets us anything immediately. Early game, we're going to be rushing for the belts and the cutting upgrades, as well as the... Honestly, everything on this page we're going to want to get early. but we're not going to be able to get it all in one go. So I think getting belts and the half destroyer, I think, is what I'm going to prioritize in the early game. The second thing we can do is this shape over here is going to introduce us to I'm going to do it over here so I'll get a bit more space. It's going to introduce us to rotating. So while that half cutter is really nice, it doesn't get us, for example, that cuts it perfectly in half. We don't want that. So we're going to take rotators, and these are at a rate of 2 to 1. So what I'm going to do over here is build up a little rotator matrix, rotatrix, to rotate these pieces like this. And then these cutters will start producing the shapes that we want. So now that I've got these, I need 2 reds, so it's going to be the left ones that I want. So I'm going to feed these out into some bands. I'm going to replicate this process, but I'm going to do it over here. 2, 3, 4. And that is actually producing the wrong ones at the moment. So it's going to be these bottom ones that get binned. And we'll just copy and paste that one a few times there. Ooh, that's wrong again. Aha! That's now done. Upgrade our belts. Things should now be moving faster. Yeah, I forgot I needed to copy the input belt as well. Excellent. These will now feed in, and I can connect up all of the output belts. There we go. Hey Nubbin, welcome. Next step, these are no longer the right shapes to be bringing in. We're going to need to cut these into halves. But you'll notice there, feeding that in is just going to do that again. So what we need to do is add some rotators on. Here we go. And then paste those. And then, if I have this correct, I should be able to, if I copy it properly, paste that there. And once again, that's gone the wrong way around. But you can see the plan here. Daisy chain it up, and then we connect those, those, and those. This one can run in that direction, and then we should have just enough space to connect all the blues up, and that'll then be that task done. Okay, now these reds are getting produced. Why aren't they counting? Oh! That is the wrong side. That is not good. I think, in order for this to work... Okay. Let's cut these. So, in order for this to work, I actually need to run these through quite a few more rotators. So, I'm going to bring these off to the side. And I think I need to connect multiple stages of rotators to these until I get it in the right situation. That one, I think, does it. So yeah, I need to double hook up these. And this should then at least allow us to cut the shapes properly. And yeah. 2, 3, 4. Output bands. Bin those. Cut that. Paste, paste, paste. Reconnect. that should now be producing the right variance, and just in time, the blue half is done. Mash is here as well. It's a full house. How is everyone doing? I'm going to pick up cutting level 2, just to start speeding these things up, and the next stage of this one is going to be to do some more of that. Also, now that this one's done, we can get rid of these blue shapes, because we're not going to need blue for the rest of this. But what we are going to need is both sets of these coming in for our major milestone task. So we are going to start ugly. We're going to start ugly. You heard it here first, chat. We're going to start with grabbing some of these, but chat, there is something wrong with this design. Can anyone spot it? We need the red halves and we need the grey halves, which means this design isn't going to work. So it's time for the launcher. That is going to give us both halves that we need, and by doing this in such a way... Ooh, actually, what is the best way to do this? Oh, you can't hear me? Hold on, let me turn up my input device. How is that? Am I better now? Am I more hearable? What do we think? Am I more hearable at the moment? I'm gonna connect these two up for now, while I wait for it. Better. Okay, that's good. I can turn it up a little bit more potentially, but it does look like my audio is currently spiking, so boost a little more. Okay, that is pretty much as high as I can make. I think that's as far as it goes. Ooh, technically I could boost it like this. How's that? Is that too loud? Lower gain a little. I can do that. How's that? Audio. Live audio check. We've got the live audio check going. Perfect. Fantastic. Okay. Stage number 2 is we need these little diamond shapes. So, these need to start getting input, because we are going to have to do some rotating. So if I do that and then feed this in, that's wrong. If I do a double rotate and then feed it in. Okay, so all these need to double rotate. So we can set all of that up. And then paste, paste, and paste. And then I will need another one of these over here. We can get rid of the double imports. And once again, I'm going to need to swap over which side I'm deleting. And 1, 2, 3, 4. This should then all feed around. Nice and simple. And these should be nice and easy to connect. There we go. So that is that challenge going down. We're also saving up at the moment for the half destroyer, which is going to be the next big upgrade for us. Task-wise, we are making oh, that one's already done as well. That's neat. I didn't even realize that was one that we needed. Task-wise, this one is coming in nicely, as is this one. We are going to need the little red triangles, which is conveniently, I think... Oh, no, we need the white triangles for that. Okay, that's fine. These are coming in. We're not going to need these forever. So I am going to wait for this one to finish up, and then I'm going to bin off this section as well. Ooh, I can potentially... Yeah, so this one should now be fine. What I'm going to do now is edit this one. And again, I'm only using one here. I could be setting up all 4, but I just don't think I need it at the minute. I'm going to connect that up into another one of these. And once again, Seems like every time I copy and paste one of these, I have to invert it. I'm going to make the red triangles. Oh, and you know what? It's Christmas. I'm going to make 4 of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And these should be nice and easy to connect. You come down that way. Bang. There's all of the red triangles coming in. And now this one. Ooh, this one might be a little bit tricky to actually get into the vortex. Or not. I can just reroute these. Sometimes the key to a good factory is doing a little bit of demolition work. Make sure we keep this as tight as possible. There we go. So now these ones need to be handled again, because we need just the little segments over here. So what we need to figure out is where is the cut point here? Not there. 2 rotations is what it needs, which means rotate, rotate. Yeah, we'll do that. Fantastic. Ah, look at you, Mash. Thank you, Birdie. Thanks for the shameless promotion. I think now... ooh, I've done that in the wrong spot. I think now we should be good to set up the automation of the grey bits by connecting these up to here. And once again, inverting these. 4, connect, 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 connect. Grab the outputs. Ooh, paste everything together. And connect everything here out to its final output. That should then be these 300 little bits here coming in. And I realised I just binned off the blues, and I didn't even finish the blue task. But that's okay. We don't currently have the space, really, to be doing any more tasks. So I have a feeling we might be waiting a little bit, chat. How is everyone doing? We are a little bit out of room within this factory, but that's nothing we've had an issue with before. We're about to have these little red quarters taken off the milestone anyway, so we can now get rid of all these. Right, over here, now that we have some more space, we'll connect up some outputs. Oh, I keep doing it. There we go. And we need to start making these shapes. So, in order to make that, we need to have the blue be on the counterclockwise corner. So, this obviously at the moment will cut in half with a single rotate. That's fine. Single rotate is all we need. I'll set up a rotation station. There we go. And now, chat, you're going to see where I've big brained this. I come into here, I edit this, I reconnect, and then suddenly these are producing this shape instead. Now it's going to take a while for them to clear out, because they need to clear out. Ah, never mind, no it won't, because I can do that. Haha! And now, these are going to start producing these shapes for us, which is the last we need for the milestone, and then we will unlock some pretty significant upgrades. However, for now, we will continue work on this part. So these are going to come out this way. And then, once again, we're going to need one of these cutter setups. And that should be... this way? this way. And once again, literally every time I use it, right, and then grab this and paste it over these and bin these corner bits out. Okay, and then I can connect up these bits and then outputs back into the central vortex. Whoa. Okay, and the last task for those ones is... not the last task, just more tasks. Always more tasks, chat. Always more tasks. What I actually might do here... I think I'm actually going to move this entire setup all the way over here. The entire thought process behind that is just solely to give myself potentially an avenue to come back through here if I need more space for processing. That's the entire thought process behind that. Those are now coming in. These are on their way, which is fantastic. And we're able to unlock the half destroyer, which is nice. Which means we can now use these, which are much more efficient. So while these cutters take up 4 belts per lane, these half destroyers only take up 3. And these connect like that and only get rid of one side of the shape, so we don't need to do this like binning half of things. We just get the right rotation and we cut it in half. So that is a good start. In fact, if I clean these up a bit, I can make a bit of space over here and start working on the other blues. Bam, 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 bam. So the next stage of blues that we're going to need is these bits, and I'm going to give a demonstration on how the half destroyers work. So this is destroying the blue half at the moment from this perspective, and what we want is a blue and a grey piece. So we're going to rotate this to be like that. Yeah. So we'll rotate it, and then we'll apply the half destroyer, which then turns it into this. And then all we need to do is run it through a rotator a couple more times. So then we'll need to rotate again, and again. We'll need to do quite a bit of rotating, actually, to get it to here. But then, what we can do is we can take this and run it through the half destroyers again, and that'll get us just down to the final one there. So, for now, I'm going to connect these over here. These are going to need to rotate. I always forget about the rotation, chat. I always forget about the rotation. Ooh, that is the first milestone, though, which unlocks a few things for us, chat. So, we've got some new tasks to complete, which is going to be good. We've got the swapper, which, as you can see here, swaps the halves of objects. We have the stacker, which lets us create multiple items. And we get access to some new upgrades, which are going to be very, very useful. So, with that in mind, one of the things we can now do is go up to the second level and move things about on top of our factory floor, which is going to come in real handy later down the line. For now, I think the next thing I want to work towards, actually, is these extra rotator types. So the counterclockwise and the 180 degree ones, because those are going to be super important. But I need to get this task completed. This whole section over here is no longer in use, so I'm going to bin it. And I need to figure out how this rotates. So, how does it cut to start with? I have the special cutter. I have the special cutter, chat. I forgot about that. Okay, so the half destroyer cuts down that middle bit, which means I need to rotate it precisely like that. So it just needs to, they all need to go through one rotation. That's all. So we'll do this one up here, this one down here, this one over here, which then means this one over here. Okay, and that's that bit done. And then we run. Yeah, they need to be that far apart. And the reason they need to be that far apart is so that I can do input belts and output belts. Oops, too far. Excellent. Now those can all go into there, and that'll get us to the next section. Foxy, don't worry. You say you're totally zoning out at shapes. I'm the one actively making shapes to be zoned out at. The last stage of this pin task, actually, is to just get the grey sections. And I've already done a thing that does that over here. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. And then have these become my import lines. And then over here, extract them back out. And what that means, chat, is that when these sections, when the section we've just finished importing completes, it's going to automatically start on the next section because we've already got the corner pieces coming in. Which means I can now start work on this piece. No, I can't because both my blues are taken up. I can now start work on one of these. That is an interesting piece because we don't have triangles yet. Yes, we do. What am I talking about? Yeah, we already have both of those exact shapes actually. So I'm going to start work on this one, I think. This whole thing can now go. So, chat, the next item we've unlocked is the stacker. It's a two-towered thing, and the way that it works is you feed items into the bottom and items into the top, and the items in the top get dropped onto the items on the bottom, and it creates a stack. This item here, you can see it is our, if I split the view out, it's our blue shape and our red shape. So all I need to do is, now these are 9 to a stacker at the moment because we've not fully upgraded. So I'm going to take 9 of these here and I'm going to create some rows of them. Now with the blue items on the bottom, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these up and across and feed them into the bottom of the stackers. And then over here, we need to redo the extractors because for some reason I deleted them. There we go. And these are going to feed into the top. And I do need to check as well. Yeah, no rotation is needed. So now that we have the second layer, we can start bringing these items through. Oops. There we go. And this will make the shape that we saw earlier, which is the one that we wanted. We're going to bring all these out and then just hop over there. And that, I don't like that. I don't like that. There we go. Fantastic. That is that, and I'm immediately going to get the counterclockwise upgrade because I think I'm going to need it. However, we are now producing these shapes, which is the next step. However, further along this task, you can see we're going to need to cut that down into these shapes, and then we're going to need to make a lot of those. So, over here, I'm actually going to, honestly, first of all, I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to move it all the way back here, I think. As long as I have 4 lanes over there. Yep. And I'm going to keep this as compact as it can possibly be, which is going to be like this. There we go. And then these ones here are going to do the same thing as the other ones. They're going to go right the way up and right the way across. And now over here, I'm actually not going to do anything with them. I'm just going to bring them... Actually, I'm not even going to do that for now. What I can do, I can bring these up and forward one. And then on this second layer, we can actually start doing rotations. And cutting as well. So, there we go. That is that task complete, which means stacking upgrade. And what that means is we now only need 6 of them per line. So I'm going to get rid of... Honestly? Wait, no, not those. If I get rid of these, this then becomes a lot shorter. Because now I only need 6 per item. Oh, wrong input. Wrong input. Wrong input again. God damn it. There we go. Oh my god. How have I done that 3 times in a row, chat? Fantastic. Okay. So, now that we've created these, we need to cut them into these shapes. And for this instance, I think we are going to use the double cutters. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring this around to here. And I'm going to grab my proper cutter. 1, 2, 3, 4. That immediately has cut it the wrong way. Ah, I can't use my special cutter. Okay, so first of all, let's do a rotator. We'll give it a little rotate. And then we'll see the problem here. Oh no, I can use my special cutter. I'm just going to need to cut it again afterwards. Which is okay. That's acceptable. Oh, I can't do this up here. Okay. This is okay, chat. This is okay. We're just going to have to move it down. We're going to move it all the way over here and then move it down. Right. So. Bam, 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 bam. There. Cutters out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drag it across. Fantastic. Now, all of these ones are going to connect to each other. And now, we can also connect all of the secondary outputs together. And we now have 2 different variants of the shape. One with 2 red and one with 2 grey on the top. So now what I can do, if I put these through the same rotation, if I were to cut this with the half cutter, that one would be correct. That one wouldn't be. Do you need to go through the counterclockwise and then the cutter? No. Oh, do you need to go through twice? Okay, you need to go through twice. Oh, actually, is that even the right way? Ah, this shape can't be flipped. So this top one actually is wrong completely. Which means we actually want to use just the regular cutter here. So we need the red to be on the left, which in this case it is. And then we can run these through here. Come on, place. Now if I place you and the cutter again, that's wrong. But if I replace you with the other one, that's right. So then I do my cutting action, and boom. That is... Ah! And now, this can go on these higher platforms. So I can now connect these to here, 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 and here. Get rid of these in-between bits. And all of these bits. And that is now this second tier of shape, and they can feed directly off of the second layer directly into the vortex, which is fantastic. So that's going to start producing these. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to take this entire section bin it, grab all of this section, grab it, flip it, rotate it, flip it again, rotate it more, rotate it more, rotate it more. There we go. I connect that up, and that doubles it up. And my main reasoning, chat, for doing that piece right there is that in a minute we're going to need to stack 3 of these shapes to make 1 of these shape. So if I can have a load of these being produced, it's going to substantially improve the rate at which we can do this. And I think what I'm going to need is some kind of double stacker situation where I have stackers onto stackers. But we are now producing these at I want to say a pretty decent rate. So I'm going to have a think. Over here, yeah, if I were to split these off, and I might do that in preparation and bring these over this. Bring these over this way. And then bring these over this way instead. And I can cut these off a little bit early, that's fine. Now what I need to do is, these all need to get rotated by... Oh, these need to get double rotated, actually. Ah! Ah! Ah ha ha! Ha ha ha! This is okay. This is okay. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Rotate, rotate, rotate. I can do it straight out of the factory. That does get me level 3, which doesn't get me anything. What do I even want next? Probably the 180 degree rotator. That's probably quite important. Let's start with grabbing these rotated variants of these shapes. And then what I'm going to do is feed these shapes into here. And they're kind of going to get dead-ended at the moment, but that's okay. These are now going to come over here, and these are going to be here. And you can see these are rotated differently. And what that's going to mean is I can set the stacker up down here. And we can do a line of 6 stackers there and 6 stackers here. And we'll have these feed into the top. And then this can feed into, oops, into the bottom. And that creates part of it. Now the second thing we're going to have to do is, I think, oh god damn it, go up a level, is these are going to have to connect here, and these are going to have to connect here, and then we're effectively going to have to replicate this piece over here. These will feed into there, these will feed into there. Now, this section is going to have to loop around. Ah, and further to that, these ones, oops, 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 oops. These ones need to rotate 4 times. No, they don't. They need to counter-rotate twice. That's all. No, that's wrong. There we go. That will now produce these shapes. And these shapes can be fed directly into the center. Now, we are still producing these 2 over here. Unfortunately, these 2 themselves are not enough to make a full one of these. So I am, honestly, it's probably more trouble than it's worth binning them. But I'm a clean freak, so I am going to do it anyway. That bins these 2, and then bin these 2 lanes out, these lanes out. There we go. So we should start seeing... That's not right? Why is that not right? Oh no, they are right. It's just, it's misprinting the ones from earlier at the moment. So because we didn't put these rotators in the other direction, some of the items that got through were wrong, but now that they're coming in, you should see now that this bottom 2 lines up with these bottom 2s. So these are going to stack up. And then we should start seeing as these ones come in. Yeah, now they're producing the right shapes. Okay, right. What's next on our task list? Which one looks doable? That one looks doable. Let's pin that. I say that. It looks doable in the near future. Unfortunately, both at... Ooh, no it doesn't. It looks doable in the near now. Because I can do this. And I can set up a double rotator down here. I don't have the 180-degree rotator yet. So this is going to have to be a 1, 2, 3 rotator job. Into... Oh, nope, not quite. Into 6 stackers. And there we go. That is the second shape auto made. You can see these are starting to produce now, which is nice. It's going to take a little while though, because we are having to do all of this work just for 2 lanes of outputs. But hopefully, yeah, these are producing now, which is excellent. So that's going to start producing us 2 lanes. And this actually looks quite nice. The way that we're going to make the second tier of this shape is we're going to, once this is completed, we're going to flip this. In fact, not even. We're going to cut this in half and then stack one side of it onto the other side of it and push that in. Then we'll flip that whole process and stack the 2 quarters together. And that's then going to get us the final shape for there. So all of this is going to come from one output. Going to run focus my next set of upgrades into just speeding things up a bit. So we're producing these, and we're going to be producing these soon. So I'm going to start work on this little thing down here. So I think the easiest way to go about this to begin with is going to be using the old faithful method. Cut my shapes into pieces. This is my last resort. These will all come down here. These will all connect up. We put the 180-degree rotate on this one. Come on. And then the stacker goes down a layer and goes here. Connect those across the top, those across the middle. Now, the better part about this design is I can actually take this and, whoops, I can move it way over here and then put a second one down there. Connect that, connect that, connect this, and connect this. Take this whole, whoops, take this whole thing, flip it, rotate it twice, connect these up, take this whole thing, copy it, flip it, paste it on here, connect these up. And there we go. Now we're mass producing things. Now these, we're once again going to just do double rotator into, honestly, I'll just do a 6-lane stack here. This can even then go like this. Bang. And then grab this bit here, copy it, and just paste it there. Get rid of that. And these. And this then is going to start producing those shapes. Which is then going to finish off that segment. So, then the next segment for this one. That's nice and easy. That's just a rotate job. This one's going to be a bit of a pain. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it, chat. We'll get to it. It looks like there is something here that's causing this to not run at full speed. Oh, maybe it was literally just still warming up. That's okay. Yeah, this side's running fine. Chat, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. We're now producing the big shapes. And that is good. Okay, right. Now, for the next tier, I think the easiest way to handle this is going to be to chuck a 180 onto here and to run this belt the other direction, loop it round, and pop some stackers on. That's actually one too many. That then feeds into there. I can then take this output, flip it, and rotate it. Stick it there. Get rid of my old excess. Bam. Now this whole part gets pasted over this bit. And then I can just clean up my extra cables. And bam, we're making the next tier of shape already. And chat, this is the way it goes. We're efficient, and we're making sure we're always ready to make the next thing. What is the next thing? We need just the red halves on top. That is a fucking pain. So I think the best way to do this, these are going to be producing these red halves. These are going to be done soon. I'll bin these off and then change this side to produce 2 sets of red, I want to say circles, but they're not. They're like triangle halves. And no matter how you halve a triangle, you pretty much get more triangles. as long as you're cut from a corner, which we are. So I think what I'm going to do, yeah, and then I'll feed these around and just do another layer of stackers, pretty much down here. Oh no, actually I can move one closer. Oh. I have to move that there and then run that in like that. Okay. Time to stop production. So that's now going to feed into the bottom half of those, which is great, but I need to start taking these ones. Oh. Do want to do those. Okay, and now my blues are done, so I can get rid of both of these sets. Those are now done. I can now afford another upgrade, and I think I'm going to stick with belts first and cutting first, and then work on getting stacking upgrades. How much do I need for stacking? 7. So once I finish this red line, actually, we'll be good on stacking upgrades. So in order to get stacking upgrades, I need to cut some red pieces. That is really convenient for me. Actually, hold on. Let me do this properly. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. These feed out. These feed out. Oh my god. There we go. So to start with, I'm just going to run these up to here. Connect them in. That then produces the shape that we want, so we connect those up. For now, that is all that is going to happen here. So I'm going to flip this, pop it there, and I'm going to similarly connect up that to that. However, the next stage for this revolves effectively these becoming full reds, so I can prepare for that by rotating these pieces and then setting up a stacker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. And then all I have to do is not connect that output up yet. And that will result in this doing exactly what we want. It'll start producing these shapes, but then when we're ready, all we have to do is connect this into here and break this corner piece, and it'll start sending the full red pieces instead of just the half red pieces that we're needing for here. So that is now generating. Let's go. Okay. That has set us up for these and for these. The next bit we're going to need to do is these two. And I think this is where it's going to get tricky. We're going to want to separate out the blue and the red, halves of each. And we're going to want to keep them around when we do the second piece, so we can then stack them. And then we're effectively going to want to do the same thing again, but in reverse. Ooh, chat, that one does look tricky. But unfortunately, I can't really look at it because my my platform, well, put it this way, all the reds are a little bit taken up. I suppose I could look at getting these imported. That one I could do. So let's start work on that, chat. We need a white piece right on the corner, which means not 108 degrees. Is that the right way? Which way does this cut? No, we want to rotate the other way. Still no. Wait. Okay, this is cutting the left side off, and I need 2 blues on that side. Which means I need to double run it through. Okay. Well, that sucks a little bit, but it's okay. I can then run this through my cutters, and I can effectively run this through the same process. Cool. Then, nope, that's wrong. That needs to go one further over. This comes in, goes over, goes back down. This comes into here, goes back over, goes back down. And then all I need to do is copy that, flip it, rotate it twice, paste it in, and reconnect with the halves. And that is not progress, because I've done it backwards, chat. Right, instead of pasting these ones, I need to paste these doubles in. That is our reds done, which means all we need to do is that on both sides. And it's now going to start sending the right pieces over, which is going to be fantastic. These should now be, these are now producing the right shapes. So those will tick over in a moment, and we'll start producing those, which will be fantastic. These should be on the way in as well. We're getting there, chat. We're getting there with it. We are producing shapes. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to... If I paste that like that, yeah, it does fucking chuck it up, but that's fine. That's now going to be doubling up the speed of it, which honestly it didn't really need, but whatever. In fact, it might even be done before this even produces one, so I'm just going to get rid of it. That is good stuff. Right. Now, over here, we need to start trimming the fat a little bit. So this is cutting off all of that. So I need to rotate it in such a way that does exactly what this one does. That's nice and convenient. Because off the back of that, I can then cut those, and that's the shape we're looking for. If I now put this here, I can connect that up to it, and then connect these up. There we go. And ta-da! Okay, that is double blues being produced. Oh. If you're wondering why these aren't full belts, chat, the reason for that is because in the upgrades tab, we still need to get stacking upgraded. So the stackers are slightly less efficient than the belts are at the moment, which is why we have these gaps over here. However, these are now producing, which is good. As soon as these are done, we will upgrade those and become more aligned, which will be fantastic. I do think, actually, the next thing I want to do... Now, this is a challenge. I want to do this. It's a challenge. It looks quite tricky, so I want to tackle it next. Jem, welcome! Jem's joined and immediately started doing some moderating. Look at that. Jem felt a tug on the ether that her presence was needed. Okay. These pieces are now done. They're no longer in service, so we're going to get rid of them. Bang. These are on their way in. They're coming in a little bit slower than I would like, but that's mostly due to the stacking limitations, which is an unfortunate byproduct of upgrading things little bit by little bit. Yeah, Jem said she wielded her mod sword and shield. Well, mod sword within 30 seconds. The icon, honestly, for the moderator is very apt. You do really just chop people. Jem, welcome to Factory Game. We're making shapes, is what we're doing. We are very, very close to being done with these red circle shapes. We're currently using all 8 of our red item lanes to make them. But we are approaching that endpoint, at which point we're going to start needing to making these shapes. And these are the ones that look interesting, to say the least. So I'm going to potentially have to use the entire factory floor for this one. But chat, that task done. which then means we can get our last stacking upgrade for this level. So, this upgrade is a bit of a beastie one. I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that we need both halves in order to make the tier 3 shape. So, I'm going to prepare with that in mind. And I'm going to use the... I'm going to set it over here actually, so it's as far away from that as it can be. We're going to bring all of these shapes in. And for now, we're going to bridge these out. Actually, we can't do it that way. We'll bring these reds out here. And then we will bring these out this way. Oh, not quite. Now, the intent is we will use these later, but for now, those are going to go into a void. And this setup is going to get replicated. Honestly, just like this, all the way across. So that is going to start producing our red halves on the right hand side. What we then effectively need is this entire process on this. That's annoying. Okay. We're going to need a similar process. If I take this, flip it over here, and then just get rid of the outputs again. So with this one, we're actually going to want to do these out this way. And then, nope, not quite. Oh my god, I'm fumbling with the controls. Skill issue. Let's move all of these up to here and add that into there. And then this becomes our template, and we can move it over and along. These all copy and paste into place. Fantastic. Okay, now from here, what we need is our stack of rows. And honestly, actually, these can go not quite that. Not quite that. Oh, but they can go here. I think there is okay. Because what I can do now is on this one, I can bring it up into here. This one, I can bring it up and over here. This one then can come up and straight across, and this one can do the same. And then for the reds, these ones need to get voided. I need to remember to do that. The reds then move along, and the reds then move along there. These can then connect up to the output slots, and this one needs to be just a little bit careful. Okay, add the top layer, that all looks good. That's going to start producing those shapes. However, we also need to take these outputs, so... Oh, I didn't think about the outputs. I did not think about the outputs. Let's... Oh, I didn't think about the outputs, but I am a fucking genius, though. Over here, let's keep these up top. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Oh, it is beautiful, chat. Sometimes a solution just fucking works. Right. Now, we are going to keep those going into there for now. Solely for the purpose of, it amuses me to see things wasted. Those are going to come over this way. This is going to come over and drop. This comes straight across. 1, 2. Honestly? No, that's a fucking stupid way of doing it. Bring that out. And then bring it back down here. We set the extractors up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, the stackers, sorry, up like that. And then... obviously, these ones can export like that. Now, the next few here are going to be a little bit more tricky. This one in particular, we're going to need to make sure we don't get our wires crossed with it. So, let's go up a layer. Let's delete these, delete these. This one is going to sneak right on by here. And this one is going to sneak right on by here. Chat, I've fucking done it again. Look at this. I am finding all of the angles. Boom. That is number 3. And then... Wait. Boom. Boom. Yeah. Boom. And boom. Oh, yes. Fantastic. Bam. That's that done. Now, these 4 outputs get killed. These 4 outputs become interesting to me. So, you're going that way, you're going that way, you're going that way, you're going this way. My next challenge... okay. Okay, I think I see the path. This one comes around, and then this one comes up in that space in particular. It comes across there. This one comes up through here. Okay. Then this one comes out here. Comes around here. No, it doesn't go down there. Stays there, pivots, comes down this way, and up along this way. And this one comes up this way. Down here. No! I may have met my maker, chat. I may have met my maker. Oh, okay. This is going to take a little bit of rerouting. What can we reroute? What can we move? What can we move? Oh, God. Okay. This is already moving through here. These ones are coming through this way. I can't really... Oh. That moves out to there. Then this line moves out to there. And then this line comes out. Yeah, this line comes out to here. And then up and then across. Which means this line comes... Oops. This line comes through here and in that way instead. And that then leaves this line to come out through here. Bam, 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 bam. Chat, I'm doing it. I'm solving the maze. Chat, I've solved the maze. Now all we need to do is stackers in place over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grab these, space them 2 apart, and feed it my inputs. Hold on, I've just connected them all in the fucking wrong direction. That's a great start. It's a great start. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All I need to do is flip. Have these come up. These go down. And then that should happen for all of these at some point. So, for example, over here, instead, these come up, these ones stay down. Over here is a similar case. These ones go across, these ones come up. And then over here, we'll have these ones come up. Nope. They will come up here. And then these ones will come down. And there we have it. Connect all these up. Oops. Factory! And that is making that shape right there. Whoo! So I just want to be tricky, chat. Fortunately, the next 2 look like they're not going to quite be that tricky because we don't need all the pieces. But that is one hell of a spaghetti, chat. This line here is... No, this line here is the worst of all of them. So, this line jumps under these 2. It jumps under these 2. It jumps over these 2. It goes under this output belt. Like, it is just so messy, chat. It is so unbelievably messy. But we're getting there. We are indeed getting there. It is making things as we expect. I'm just trying to find out why this is so goddamn slow for now. And the answer is, doesn't matter. It's done. Chat, it's done. Right, next step. I bet that made at least one of you very upset. The next step here is to turn these into full red bits. Now, actually, to start that's quite easy. Because we can start with one of these configs. Actually, we can run this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that. Oh, hang on. Me stupid. That connects out. Then you put the 180 rotatey in here. Not quite. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put your double stackers on. And boom. Okay. Now all we need to do is... honestly, I'm not going to flip that one because it's probably going to be easier to do it this way instead. Have this, connect it up to there, double rotate it, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bam, bam, bam. Why does that say it's going to be making 2 different shapes? Because it's connected to that belt. That'll do it. Been knows. Okay, that's making 2 red lines at once, and I'm pretty sure the exact same setup, if flipped, will produce the stars. Fantastic. And actually, I do literally mean, hopefully, if this works, flipped. Hold on. God, no, fuck. Hold on. The cut and the copy keys always fucking get backwards to me. Here we go. Okay. Then what we do is just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same here. That feeds into there. That feeds into there. That feeds into here. That feeds into here. And there we go. Now, once again, take it, copy it, flip it. Wait. Rotate. There. No. Wrong. Cut. Flip. Rotate again. Rotate again. Rotate again. That way? That's the way. Interestingly, stackers on 6, rotators on 2, cutters on 3, yet somewhere we seem to be a little bit backed up because these aren't producing at full speed. But I can't tell where, because both the input lines are at full. Maybe it's just taking a second to catch up. Yeah, it's just building up still. Oh, and I didn't actually fucking put the inputs on there. Teehee, my mistake. Okay, that's producing the next tier. And all we have to do for the next one, I believe, is flip the inputs. So we're going to want the other half of the yellows. So I think we can literally move everything and just rotate the inputs 2 ways. And then change these flippers around. So I do think that that's going to be quite easy. Because I think we just put, if I take this as an example, I think all I need to do is put some 90-degree rotator bits in. These will feed like that, like this. And those can connect like that. That whole thing actually can move up a space. Those feed in like that. That can actually be then my direct inputs. Yep. Oh, actually, this whole thing can move up on. Yeah, and that's efficiency. So that then should cut the opposite sides of the shapes. And then same process goes. I just have to build it into the stackers. But this time blue needs to be on top. So I think if I now bin that side, and we take these. If I grab this and put it here, that should, yep, that does. And now I can grab this, rotate it, flip it, rotate it a couple more times. Oh. Yep, that then produces the blue bits. I can then there we go. Run this output here, this output to here. Bam. Right. These can now go. These get rotated twice. Bam. And that is the last challenge of segment 2, which means we need to get an upgrade. How much are we going to get from this? We're going to get 5. I might save up and actually get belt upgrades. Actually, these don't really matter until I have all 3 of them, because they're always going to get bottlenecked. So instead, I might... Chat, it's a vote time. Do I get tier 3 belts, even though we're still going to be bottlenecked by cutting and stacking? Do I go for the swapper, the stacker, or do I start saving up for the 3rd floor? This is a chat votes time. What do we think, chat? Mash is voting for what makes it easier. Honestly, I'm looking at this. Third floor would be the one that makes it easiest, but I have to save up to 50 points to unlock that. And then the thing with that is then 10 more points, and I can get all 3 speed upgrades. And that would be pretty big. And the thing is, we're not really going to... Like, we're only going to get 20 before we have to tackle this part. So I can either get, like, Swapper and Stacker, or I can get one of these, like, in the immediate vicinity. But again, these kind of bottleneck each other anyway, so it's like... You know what? I think I've talked myself into it. Having the Swapper and the kind of corner Stacker, I think is a... Not better solution, but a more optimized solution. Yeah, I think I'm going to get these. And then when I get my next few points from these being completed, which is about to happen, I'll get that as well. And now, once again, I bin everything on the screen. So, now we are down to the final items here. And this shape honestly looks like a bitch to make. So, what do we need to start with? We need... The snipper for that takes off the right hand side now. So all I need to do is toggle these until... Yeah, so that is the shape that I want to make. And actually, these want to come out instead. So now up here, I do a set of stackers, or cutters. And then here I do the same. Right, this is my first stage. So this is getting me to that bottom layer. No, it isn't. That's wrong. Damn it. Okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Oh, of course it's wrong. What do I need there? I need... one red in that little corner, which means, actually, 180 degree rotate followed by... That is probably the way to go. So I'll put those in, and then the 180 degrees go here and here. And then move all of this back down. And that's then producing the shape for my basic layer. Then over here, I need to make a little sticky one dot maker. Because I think that's all I need. Yeah, just a little sticky one dot maker. So, in order to do that, first thing I'm going to want to do is make a cutter. Because the cutter is our best friend. Okay, cutting is done here. Now, what we're going to want to do is run these through some 180s. Actually, we don't want to have outputs on these yet. So this is cutting off the top, which means any other rotation that we put it through is going to leave it in a prime situation to be cut into a corner thingy. And we all love corner thingies. Bam. And honestly, I think the best solution down here is just to have 6 Ds in a line like this, and then just connect all of these up to the bottom rows. And then I need the red dot to be bottom left corner, which it already is. Fantastic. Okay. These will connect out like that, and then yeah, these all then connect up. And that's those bits done. Fantastic. Now for all of these, I should just be able to, yeah, like that. Okay, that is those being generated. And I think all I have to do for the next step, yeah, is just run a 180-degree rotation through these. So that'll be nice and easy. I can add that into the next bit. I do then need to start creating some blue diamonds. So I'm going to work on that over here for the next step. I need to run these through a 180 so that I can cut the blue sections out. Okay, so these are going to come over this way, and then we're going to have some slices there. No, that's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there we go. So these then all get cut into the blue pieces, and then yeah, into that thing again where I run it through. Actually, not a 180. I want to just run it through one of these once, I think. Through one of these once should get me to a point where I can safely cut it into 2x2s. So I think, yeah, that's perfect. There we go. So that is our little 2x2 section. Now, the only other thing I need to do is just rotate that properly. So that needs to be, these need to be in that position. So that should be fairly simple. I just connect these up like this, and those will then come out in the right position. And yeah, I'll also be able to run these and stack them here before they get stacked up on this side, which would be nice. Okay, now for this section, all I need to do is, as I mentioned, put these through a 180-degree rotation. And that should then be everything that these ones need. That 180-degree rotation then puts in the bottom right, which is then going to create this like horn shape here. And then I'm going to set up the stackers down here that we're going to need. Ooh, and actually we're not going to be able to fit these, so I'm going to try the corner stackers. So the way that these are going to work is instead of having them, yeah, we'll run them like this. 3, 4. So we're going to have a grid of them like this, and we're effectively going to have lines come down like this, like this, like this, like this, and then do the same on top. And then these will effectively output like this. And actually, no, we can do better than this, chat. We can do better than this. We can do better than this. Instead of having it this way, we're going to have it run that way. Yes. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll take that and copy it like this. So then what we'll have is inputs running down, outputs, or secondary inputs for the top bit running down like this, and then the inputs will run out like this. So I'll have 4 lanes of these down here. And then I can bring these over already. Fantastic. And now, if I take these out, bring these... Oh, not there. Not there. Silly of me. Oh, I do spot a slight problem with this design. Yeah, that is a slight problem with this design. This is fine though. We just change the direction here. Nope, that also won't work. And it's in the wrong orientation. Ah, okay. These need to rotate one further. They need to go to there. But that's okay. That does mean these will now stack properly, but we still run into this issue. And I think the solution to this issue... That one's nice and easy. That one we can skirt around that way. Honestly, for these ones, it might be that we... Ah! I know the solution. Chat. I've got the solution. The solution is I stop being a dumbass. Right, let's grab these. We'll grab these, we'll take them, and we'll move them, and we'll stagger them by 1. Oh. And then these will come in like this, which will then leave the exits open. And actually, double stupid of me is I can run these this way. Oh, I need to put the 180s on this as well. Yeah, tell you what, let's put the 180s on over here, just so that they don't get lost in transit. And bam, 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 bam. Okay. You go that way. You go that way. You go all the way through here. And then you follow that same journey. Now, all of these outputs. Connect these out, connect these out, connect these out, connect these out. There we go. Now I can just connect these up. And that is the shape we're looking for. Whew. Okay, there we go. So, to recap, these are producing blue halves and then blue doubles. Blue doubles in here are getting transported over. This bit is making red singles in a specific quadrant. They're then getting stacked together to make this double blue with a little red corner. And over here, we have these getting cut into 2 greys with 1 little red corner. And then those are both being stacked together to make, well, not whatever this abomination is, but once the correct pieces start coming back in. Yeah, there we go. Now that these correct pieces are starting to flow through, we should see soon, I do mean soon, one of these actual proper correct shapes get made. And yeah, here we go. They're starting to come in now. So that is the last thing on our milestones, which means we are going to be moving on shortly. And we're going to be making something a little bit different. Hopefully, the next milestone as you can see here, is going to unlock space platforms and foundations and space belts. And what that's going to let us do is start accessing some of these nodes out here and bringing in different shapes and different items. And we can then start piping them kind of from here over to different platforms. And we can start setting up our own little processing plants out into the void of space, as it were. It will also unlock, according to this, some new upgrades, which I can only imagine are going to be somewhere out here. As well as some new tasks, which will mean more challenges to go for, which will be fantastic. Tier 3 tasks as well are going to be worth more, which means we're going to start being able to get up towards these Tier 3 unlocks, the 3rd floor, and whatever new items come out. So, yeah, we are producing these fairly quick now. In fact, I can check. There is a statistics page. We're producing 480 of these every minute. And actually, if you look at the belt speed, it's 120 per minute of 4 belts. So we are producing maximum capacity of these. Because all of these belts are running at maximum capacity, all of these are running at maximum capacity, and all of these are running at max capacity. I do not believe there is any way we could be producing these any faster, aside from if we really, really optimized and took the red bits here that got deleted and used those to make this full shape, and then duplicated the entire thing here, duplicated the entire blue process over here, and then stacked it all and doubled it. But that would be really overkill when we're literally already 2/3 of the way done with this piece. Like, super mega overkill. But we are getting there. This is a we're getting there kind of game. That might actually be my new catchphrase for this game. Shapes 2, hashtag we're getting there. Only 200 more to go. So about 30 seconds left on this, and that will be milestone 2 done. And we're going to unlock space transportation. And we can already kind of see here what shape we're going to have to make next. And it looks like a weird one if I look at this shape. It looks like the shape we just made, but with more shit thrown on top. However, I don't want to make this shape on the platform anymore. That is a lot of new info here. So, first of all, upgrades. What did we unlock? We unlocked wires for automation for a Make Anything machine, and we unlocked foundations, which are new platforms we can build out in space, as well as vortex inputs, which is going to let us effectively start unlocking these slots here to send more. However, for now, I'm going to grab all of this and sod it off. As well as all of this. Sod it off, because chat, we can now start pumping things from space. That's right, we have the ability to start grabbing shit from all over the place, and what I'm going to do here is we want bulk delivery of these shapes here. So I'm going to find somewhere that has those shapes in like their whole form. Here we go. And I'm going to get some extractors down. I'm going to fully max them out. And then I'm going to max out here. And you might say, well, those are just pointing at the void. They're not launching anywhere. There's just a void at the other side of that. And I would say, yeah, you're absolutely right. So let's build a foundation. Bam. Here we are. Now what I can do is grab the stackers, and back here I can start building up my row of stackers. I can bring these through. And then over here I can start bringing these out. Actually, I'm going to do this slightly smaller, I think. I'm going to go out straight away. And now, on this little platform out in the middle of nowhere, we're producing the shapes. Now you may think, well, that's useless. No, it isn't. I now produce a space highway. These items are going to come in. They're going to get stacked. They're going to come over to here. And they're going to get shot off onto the space belt. Those are then going to get transported along the space belt over here where they're going to act as an exporter, and you can see the shapes are already ready. And that is space highway travel. That is going to make those. However, the next items on the task are for the diamonds and for the teardrops. So I'm going to see if I can find those as well. And just set up everything to auto-export immediately. Oh, that's almost correct, but that's got one little triangle piece in as well. Can we see anywhere that's got just the diamond bits? If not, we might do a little bit more processing. Oh, here we go. Here's one with just the corner bits in. We can start bringing those in. Those can come over here. Now we need to find the teardrop ones. And I think the teardrop ones are the rare ones, so I don't think we're going to find all 4 of those in a pattern, unfortunately. So we might end up having to make those. Never mind! Never mind. I'm going to do what's called a marker here. I'm going to put down a little thing. Not that. What's the marker button? L. I'm going to call this teardrops. The reason I'm creating that is so that I can run up here, grab this, scroll out, and not lose it. Fantastic. And now I'm going to bin that because I don't need it anymore. But this is going to let me now create another space highway. And you can see that does cost these platform units, which we don't have a lot of at the moment. And the only way we can get more of those, we get a little bit by doing these challenges. We get quite a few by doing the main milestones. And eventually, we will unlock this operator level. And that will unlock this tab where we can continually produce this shape. And by doing so, it will give us more and more of those platforms. But for now, these are coming in, which is fantastic. And that is all 3 of the challenge items that we need. So these ones are being produced. And when those are done, we'll have these coming in. And when those are done, we'll have these coming in. And as you can see, these are already pre-processed and made. This is the part of the game where we start expanding it out and we start getting some proper production online. But to do that, we're going to need more platform units. And to do that, we're going to need to start working on these. Because what I want to do is I want to start making this shape, which will unlock our operator level. And then I want to continue making this shape. However, I have just realized that this shape needs this shape. And I did just bin all of my production of this shape. Huh. That may not have been smart of me, chat. That may not have been smart of me. Right, what else do we have here? We've got... Okay. Yeah. What I'm going to have to do, I think, is this needs red triangles opposite each other. So have we got any red triangles? This is the golden shape. I think that's the exact shape we want. Pretty much, almost. Not quite, but like it's close. Because what I think I can do... Oh, wait, no. That's not the shape we want. That's not the shape we want at all. Because I can't cut out just those 2 bits. Oh, bollocks. Well... Oh, the good news is that bit's going to be really easy. I can just take this, cut it in half, and ship it over. That's nice. But in terms of actually making this shape, blue chevrons I can get from here. Actually, this might not be too bad, chat. I might be overthinking it. What I might be able to do instead is, instead of piping these into here, I can pipe them out into here, process stuff up there, and then bring it back around somewhere else. So I think I might be okay, because now I have a lot more freedom with how I lay these out. You will also notice, chat, that the task amounts here are substantially larger now. Like, these have gone up to 3,000 each, but these reward me with a lot of research points and a lot of platforms. This is 450 platforms. I only have 750 in total. So this is going to effectively increase my kind of space platforms by 50% and give me 15 research points. And 15 research points doesn't do shit all for me at the minute. But it's nice to have in the back pocket while I work on some other things. I think I need to, as much as I hate to say it, I need to wait for this thing to finish so I can get some of my platforms back. Because without those, I am a little bit scuppered, chat, without those. How are these ones coming along? Are they being shipped? They are being shipped. And these ones are being shipped from even further away. So, okay, that's fine. These are coming in slow. But that's fine. They don't need to come in super fast. They just need to, like, they're not even going to count until we get the rest of the things in. So, chat, I'm going to need, what am I going to need? I'm going to need a lot of everything. I need 2 of the green teardrops. How am I going to get to this shape eventually? That's what I want to figure out. Because the thing with this, although it looks great, is I need to cut these 2 out, and I haven't got like a method of cutting out 2 at a time. I can only cut 3 at a time. So my best bet for green halves, unless I can spot any fancy ones, which I don't think I can. Yeah, I think my best bet is going to be cutting this shape kind of down this middle line, then cutting it again, rotating 1-2 pieces, and then stamping them back together. That might be the only way I can do it. Because if we look at this shape, actually that one's going to be easy. I can cut that in half. Yeah, this is. I'm gonna. Oh God, where do I even go from here? This is the part of the game that I struggle with the most, because while it's opened up to everything, it's opened up to everything. I have all of these that I could try and make, but actually that one, that's just a ship, isn't it? That's just this shape. But I can't make any more of them. That's fine. I can still set this up ready to export, and then when my my little stacked triangles are done, I can set these to export as well. But yeah, that is just this shape. And then what I can do is when those are done importing, I can actually just cut them in half to get this milestone bit done as well. That'll be nice. I'm going to cut those out, because I think now that that's fine. Oh, that's still not enough though. Come on, bit by bit. And there we go. We are done with that piece, which gives us a load more to work with. So I'm going to bring that in. And honestly, I'm going to have this piece move around there. And just connect that into there instead. But that is going to be this subtask being worked on. And while that's happening, I'm going to start on working up here. So I think I start with this. Now chat, at some point, I'm going to move this entire factory. Because while I'm going to produce it here, this is blocking my imports. So at some point, I'll move this out to like out here, this out to here, and we'll start building it around and doing things properly, and we'll be using painting instead of just trying to trim the right colours that we want. But for now, this is how it's going to be. Is this going to cut the right way? Of course it isn't. So let's get back to factory making. I've withheld content for long enough. Bam, bam, bam. Right. we're making shapes again. We're back to the fundamentals of the game. Kicking names and taking shapes. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, actually, it doesn't have to make sense. No, it does have to make sense. The important thing is, I think I'm funny. And apparently, so do some people here. I think that lets us make... yep, that it does. Okay. Now all I need to do is stick that... Oh, there. 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 And there. Actually, let's get rid of those two for now. Connect that up to there. Connect this up to here. Grab them. Flip it. Rotate it twice. No. Flip it. Then rotate it twice. Here. Yes. Then, shift this entire thing. Grab it. Cut it. Stick it on there. Give it proper imports. Kill that. Put it there. Boom. That's making one of the shapes that we need. Fantastic. Now, to this one. Just realised what the fuck that was doing. That's annoying. Connect these up and connect those up. That's fine. These are incoming as well now, which is nice. This one needs something similar, so we'll grab these. Okay. Oh, those aren't all coming in. Why aren't those all coming in? Oh, I never fucking connected to the extra thing, that's why. Although that's actually probably overkill. Right, what do I need out of these? Let's get a long production chain going. So, to start with... Actually, I don't need a long production chain, do I? Fantastic, I grab those. Delete all that. And actually delete all that as well. Fantastic. So, you know, let me unpin this one. Right, next step is to get 2 opposing red diamonds. So, let's start by making red triangles. Okay. Next step is to rotate it just a little bit. I think that much. Actually, you know what? No, that's still probably the best way to do it. Next bit we need to do is going to be a little bit more difficult. And actually, I might... Yeah, I'm going to develop this on one side first. And then work on the other bit later. But if I do this, and then do a swapper... I can't swapper it, because it needs a thing on the other side. What about if I... Oh! Oh! Panic. If I do that there... No. What does that cut? Cuts that way. Right, let's connect all these ones up first, because we know those are good. And then we connect... Oh. Okay. So now we connect that one up to some doubles. And then... Ooh. 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 Cutter? Yeah, cutter. And then how's it need to rotate? So this is top left. So then this one needs to be placed. Double rotate, I think. Yeah, double rotate. Double rotate. And actually, I don't even necessarily want to do that, because if I move it here, I can then... Yeah. Bring all that over here, and then stacker it. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that is the first stage. I now need to do that, and repeat that process for 4, but I can't ever cross that line there. So effectively what I need to do is reproduce this whole thing, but with that on. I think that is actually maybe relatively simple. I had to say it, didn't I? I've said that and then realised that it's not going to be fucking simple in the slightest. But that doesn't matter, because all of this... that's fantastic. While that is pondering in my brain hole. Bin all that. Jump back home. And these ones coming in. That's nice. Okay, brilliant. Brilliant. So, what do I need to do with this? I need to bring this one out twice the distance. And then have this one come out sort of the same way. And my reasoning for this is now here. I can have this do sort of the same thing. Place a cutter like that. This needs to come further still. In fact, I'm just gonna, for the sake of safety, this is gonna come out all the way. Yeah, and then that's going to connect up there. And also, actually, while that's happening, this entire process can move down to here, and we can then connect that up like this. All of this, move one space up. Connect that, and then these need to move like that there. Okay, now these go in the other direction. But I still can't fucking move those down. I need the third layer for this design, which means I have to bin that here, and all of this gets moved to there, and I then have to redesign this process. Okay, this is a challenge, chat. We like a challenge. We've done challenges before here. Let's try, if I move all these over by 1, I can then run all of this in like that. That then gives me a little bit of room to work with in this department. Ooh, here's another idea. Duplicate all of this, a layer up, have this immediately come up to here, and then set all of these up. That's so close. Ah! Oh, also, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to copy those. And then here, do that. Then back here, I just split it like that instead, or I dual path it. These still go out on the high ground. These ones then drop and connect on the low ground. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Oh, and these are done. Fantastic. Which means I can now discontinue that entire line. Okay, right. Now that these are coming out, I should be able to effectively grab that process. Don't cut it every time I do that. Actually, E, grab these. Control. Flip it, rotate it, bang. That's then there. Then this comes through here. And we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. 6. Ah. But in doing that, fuck, did I get this backwards the whole time? God. Okay. Okay, that's fine. This is fine, chat. This is fine. Okay. These are just the wrong rotations. And if I select all of this, or if I just select this bit and press I. These aren't even cutters! Oh, god damn it. God damn it. Just delete all of this. Just delete a lot of it. Okay. Right, let's try this again. Cutters. So we rotate it so that we can cut it. And then it goes into one of these. And then that is what goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then that layout is then what gets flipped for here. Yeah, and then the stackers go into this bit. Okay, and now that that's done, I can take this entire section, copy it, flip it, paste it. Bam, that's producing those bits that we need. And that can go there. Then the last section that we need is effectively the same, actually. I just need to run a rotation through it first. Which actually means it's not the same at all. It was almost the same, until it definitely fucking wasn't. Right, let's grab this bottom section here. And then within here, all I need to do is chuck a 180-degree rotator in. And there we go. And that should be enough to satisfy that requirement. Then when we go up a layer, if I copy all of this, it's not going to be do it because of all that shit in it. Okay, if I copy all of this, why won't it let me paste that? Seriously, why? Oh, okay. Fine. Copy the whole thing. Fuck it. When in doubt, copy the whole thing. Over here, we do the same. Paste that. The question now is how do I squeeze an extra rotation into this bit here? Oh, wait, no. Much simpler solution, chat. Much simpler solution. I'm thinking far too big here. Cut all those off. Cut all those off. Repaste that. Right. Much simpler solution, chat. I just do the rotation here instead. This is a much easier solution to this problem. There, and then actually over here should produce those. Ooh, wait. So this is producing them. So actually, these should just connect right the way across. Which actually means I don't need the bends either. Get rid of those, get rid of those. That then produces those. Which then means these are being produced in the bottom right bit. So they would slot into there. If I get rid of this, and instead bring it around like that, I can then rotate these as I need them, which I think is going to be a case of double rotator. Okay, and then bam, bam, bam. Right, if this works how I think it's going to work, chat, it's going to be fucking fantastic. So, actually, I wonder if I do have a 4-lane, nope, a 4-lane stacker blue, like, template thing that I think is going to work perfectly here. So if I take that, and then paste it here and here, and then connect that up, I think what's going to happen here... Oh, chat. Chat. It's doing it. It's producing them. It's producing the shapes we're looking for. That is a great start. However, I also need this to be placed here. And then to have these ring into it. And to have this run up to here. Now, the question after this point is, where do those stack on top? And the answer is on top of the grey bit, which is... That's in the bottom right, that's in the... It lines up. Chat, I think it just lines up. I think we just put this here, stack those in, and then... No, it doesn't quite line up. It doesn't quite line up. It doesn't quite line up. How do we get it to line up? Chat, this is a matter of national security. Hey, welcome Femi. Welcome to the chat. I am currently trying to figure out how to get this to work. I think a 180 shift is all I need here. But that is easier said than done. Because that doesn't work. So I think I need to bring it out here, do the rotation on this bit, and then bring that back. Ooh, no. Yeah. Over here. Actually. that's now producing it on the right side, which is good. And then these ones should be much easier, because I can just run that into there, and then run this through here. That is now producing that shape, which is fantastic, because we can then loop that back all the way here. And also these need to be the extender versions. But I can now start bringing these in. That's our next tier of shape. And I'm really hoping to unlock painting, because that's going to make a lot more things easier then. But that is this shape right here being made, which means the next thing we need to do is to make these little halves, which I think is going to be a breeze. I think all I need to do is to put one of these on and start exporting these. And I literally think I just do the half deleter in a little box over here. I think, yeah, that's perfect. So all I need to do is create these over here, create these over here, create these over here. That'll then run through nice and easy. I can run this and have all of these export, and this is exactly what I need, at least for that first test example. So I'm going to drag that and connect it. Ooh. Yeah, I can jump it under. So with these space pipes, we can actually go underneath one layer. So I can have this come down here and jump under, and then connect those in. So that's great. And actually, that might be the better way to connect this up. Yeah, no, it's not. I'm going to leave it there, because we're going to do something eventually. It's going to want it to be here. So that's fine. We'll bring these in. And then what we're going to do is, in preparation for having that task complete, we can take this, and the next step we're going to need to do is to cut that one down into just its green piece. And so what we can look at here is that's obviously producing those two, and that's cutting along this line here. So all we would need to do is to rotate this effectively 2 times anti-clockwise, and then cut again. So let's test that. If we do this here for all of them, and then prep them all to go back through a triple cut, bam, bam. There we go. I believe when it comes to actually processing these, that I can just effectively swap this out for this, and it'll make it into just the little green niblets that we need for that one. And then I can run 2 of these modules side by side with a 180-degree rotator in this bit, and then a stacker to stack the 2 together to create this shape, and then that can just be stacked on top of the shape we currently have being made, and that'll then get us to our operator level, which will be fantastic, because that will unlock painting, I believe. I think that's what I said. Yeah. Painting and fluid mechanics, which will be fun, and definitely not scary. These are being produced. This is great. Come over here. Ooh. They're already about to make their way in. The first batch. The first batch are coming, chat. There we go. And we can see these ones are being accepted as well, and they are counting against this record limit here. I think in preparation of this one, I'm going to move that to there and there. Get rid of that and get rid of that. And I'm going to move this to here, and then just test actually that this does produce the shape we want it to. No, that produces the wrong shape, which means these are the wrong cutters. Is it too clockwise that I want? No, I don't think so. That's going to cut nothing off, isn't it? Yeah. Is it just a single? Is that all we need? It might just be that we need single, actually. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Fine. Okay. Well, in that case, we can move all of these down by 1. And then these will get replaced with the quicker variants. Well, not quicker variant, the single rotation variants. Those all then go into here. And actually, I want this set to start exporting to here. This set I'm going to kill. So these are going to come out and start being delivered. And then I'm going to copy this cell over to here, but then get rid of these bits. And I'm going to put the 180-degree rotators onto this one. So then that goes 180, that goes 180. Here we go. Now, I'm not actually going to have these export yet. And my reasoning for that is what I want to do is for these ones to go and stock up. But if I start importing these ones as well... Actually, no. Yeah, if I export these ones, it's going to fill this queue. Which is not what we want. But what we can do is we can grab this 4-lane stacker. And then effectively, when we're ready, we just delete this cell. Actually, that's not ideal. How would we do this? We want the output to be in that direction, so yeah. So then we'll just put this here, and it'll just start working effectively. And that'll start making these tier 1 operator shapes, which will unlock fluids and painting, but also it will unlock our operator's certificate. We can keep then delivering that shape past this 8,000 goal, at which point we start getting these platform units in like way bigger quantities, which would be great. Mash, you feel like you'd be bad at playing this, but you'd be like super interested in watching. That is honestly how I feel about watching a lot of the things that I stream. Like streaming them, I'm fine, but then watching other people play games, it's like, wow, I would absolutely suck at this game, but I do love watching it. I think there's something very satisfying about watching someone who knows what they're doing. I think that's just innately one of those things that is like very, very pleasing and tickling to the brain. Why is that not producing at full capacity? These are coming in at full speed, but my reds aren't producing at full speed. Why aren't my reds producing at full speed? Which part of this operation is slow? It's... Why is this all backed up? These take 4, yeah. And these take 3. And the rotators take 2. Why is this backed up? What's wrong? Because even this top layer is... Huh. These ones are backed up. Or maybe they're backed up because this one isn't producing fast enough. Oh, but then that's not... So these are backed up because these aren't producing fast enough. But these aren't producing fast enough because these are backed up. How does that make any sense, chat? In order for this bottom one to move faster... these top ones need to be moving faster. But in order for these top ones to be moving faster, these need to get cleared out in bulk. Which is leading to gaps in here. onto. I don't know how that makes any sense. Maybe the answer is honestly just clear everything out and have them all start from scratch so that there's a fresh slate. That might be the way. I think I did something similar over here though, so is that backed up as well? No, see, these ones are fine. These are producing at full speed, and that's doing the same thing as this one is. Okay, that's weird. I'm going to come over here now and move this over. Bam, 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 bam. Nice, and these, I believe, should now be producing those. We can check that by going back to the fountain. Yes, they are. Okay. So the other thing we're going to want to do is eventually, those bits are going to want to go on top of the reds, I think. Yeah, go on top of the reds. So what orientation are the reds coming in? The reds are coming in, okay, top right and bottom left. Which is not how these are coming in. So actually, what I'm going to do here, just as a real quick just shit fix, is I'm going to get these to go in and just rotate like that. Because I believe that that will then align them properly for the stacking at the next layer. So that should be that done. So those should start going in soon. These ones are on their way in as well. And then what I'm going to have is over here, I will have one of these stackers set that way. And effectively, this under bit here is going to get gone. This intersection becomes a stacker. The greens then go on top, and that comes through here. And I'm going to kill that now and put that in place. Awesome. Okay. So, yeah. That bottom shape is the same, and we just need to stack these greens onto the reds, which is what will happen once we filled this one up with greens. Also, chat, look how pretty this looks with all of the shapes falling into the middle. I think I broke Mash. Yeah, I think the issue, Mash, was that when I left the area, it almost stopped checking like exactly which belts were running and was just approximating. And then when I came back, it was like, well, this one's been underworked and this one's been overworked. So then it like appropriately rendered them with the wrong amounts on. Like it thought it was doing a smart thing, and in actuality, it was not. Yeah, once 2,000 of these get delivered through here, I'll then disconnect this and stack it straight through. That'll then drop the greens, which are in the right position, directly over the reds, which is as they are here, and they will then feed through into the center bit, which will be great. That'll then unlock painting, which is the next bit. Yeah. Right, while that's going, I'm going to give this a save. Because we've done a lot today. In the upgrades tab, what am I looking to unlock next? Because these take 60 points to get any benefit of. This takes 50 and would be nice. But honestly, I've been making it work without the third floor at the minute, so I'm tempted to save for these instead. But that is going to require that I start working on these bits. Which isn't the end of the world, but they are a little bit more tedious. I want to have a look and see if that shape already exists to any extent, because it sort of does, because we can extract these, and then potentially, let me try something over here. If I'll just try it with the one for now. I'm not going to waste a load of time. But if I bring these out to here, if I cut that, where does it cut? There. so my cutter is spinning the bottom half of the shape, which means I would need to do that cut, and yeah, I need to do those 2 turns effectively. Those would need to go there, 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 there. Here I was saying I'm not going to do it for all of them. Yeah, I definitely am going to do it for all of them. Right. Let's settle these up. As soon as I realised it was possible, I was like, well, I may as well just do it then. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Because that has to come back around. Bin that. Catch these. There. And then... but I can't... that's a pain. Bin that. Try something new. If I take one of these like this, and I do a 180-degree rotation on it, and then I bring this one along there, and I get a swapper. Now if I go like this, that does exactly the wrong thing. However, if I do this, I can start seeing what it's going to make, and I can just play around with the deletion settings. Move this way down the line so I can add more rotates and stuff in. That's literally creating the same shape. Oh wait, no. It's just that the new one hasn't come in yet. Oh, that's almost right. If I can get the bottom one to rotate. Just... Oh. Update. Ha! Bam. So, now, these are going to come into here. I will go back in a moment. Yo! Frazy pops in chat. Hey, buddy.